Alright guys, name is Tyler aka Nanogenix, and today, yes, you read the title correctly, there's so much stuff going on because the year 4 anniversary on the JP side of Dokkan is like upon us at this point. Seriously, it starts in like 12/13 days from the time this video goes live on my channel, and even if you're not watching this on the day it goes live, this could still be some very useful information to get you caught up on everything to expect for the year 4 anniversary. Now, before we hop in, I want to say a couple of things. One, shout out to Garesh, shout out to Thieving6, and shout out to Super Totopo. Links to all those things will be down below in the description. And last but not least, shout out to Dokkan Info once we hop into another portion of this later on in the video. Links to everything that is referenced and used in this video can be down below in the description. You guys can go check it all out for yourselves, or of course you can just watch along with your boy Nano today. The other thing I want to note is just like, how in the world are we already at year 4, man? Like, I feel like it was just moments ago I was covering year 3 for JP anniversary. We are trying to guess what the thing was going to be, and then it turned out to be this LR Goku and Vegeta that could transform. One could transform into Vegeta, one could transform into Gogeta. How are we already to the point of a year 4 anniversary, dog? What is going on? So anyway, what we're looking at here are the V-Jump scans for everything happening on the year 4. This is everything we have right now. If you are hoping for a V-Jump scan that would show off the particular units that might be coming along with it, not really the case. They don't typically do that. They don't really show off the hype sort of yearly anniversaries within the V-Jumps themselves. However, there's a lot of hype still to be had here. So this is coming straight from Garesh for just some solid translations here. That Goku looks awesome. If you happen to be newer to the game, and maybe if you were just around even for just year 3, like say on global side, which is about, you know what, 7 months ago at this point, we always get a free Goku. And the first year he was an SSJ1 holding up one finger. Second year he was an SSJ2. Actually, second year the SSJ1 from year 1 could Dokkan Awaken into the year 2 one, which is an SSJ2 Goku holding up 2 fingers. Year 3 we got that SSJ3 Goku, that is the SSJ3 support unit. And now year 4 we're getting a brand new physical SSJ4 Goku holding up the 4-star Dragon Ball, as you can see there. He actually looks awesome. Like, that's actually really cool card art for an SSJ4. Like, I don't know, like, it just looks cool to me, which all these have been kind of neat, but this one in particular I'm definitely digging here. So here we go. The 4-year anniversary celebration will have the Dragon Ball GT sort of themed, you know, as you're going to be able to tell as we move through the rest of this. There will be a physical Super Saiyan 4 Goku available as a login bonus upon the first login of the campaign. So yes, we are getting a free SSJ4 Goku. His super attack will be the ×10 Kamehameha, and will be holding the 4-star Dragon Ball. Also included in the overall login bonus will be 4 Dragon Stones a day. And just to give you guys a bit of a background on one of these login sort of bonus type situations, it should at least run until the end of February. The yearly anniversary usually lasts, actually last year's lasted even farther than that, because you'll log in, whether it be the part 1, that'll last probably the entire month of February, and then sometime through, you know, midway through February, or maybe 3 weeks into February, we'll get a part 2 to the celebration. That'll then add a whole new login bonuses and all kinds of other new stuff will come along with it. Last year's sort of big example of this was part 2, was when we got the Ginyu Force, one of the best free-to-play sort of things in the game, as well as, if I remember right, it was the actual introduction of the EZA for the Kid Gohan. That is the Namek Saga leader that you can then of course run. The full Ginyu Force is part of it. So that was kind of a big portion of it. And I might be wrong in this one, but I almost think Battlefield 2.0 was announced within all that as well. I'm almost positive it was. So as far as being able to go, you know, four Dragon Stones a day, that is most likely going to be at least for a month, if not even farther out than that. So that is legit. Not to mention, that's just 4 Dragon Stones a day. That doesn't include the missions that'll probably be available. Not to mention getting top grossing. It'll be a lot of free Dragon Stones. Pretty typical though for a yearly celebration. Anyway, various support items. Now this part is kind of weird. 7 God Dragon Stones. So it was either a publication error, or we really are getting 7 Dragon Stones. The actual translation from Garesh and others in the community says that this does not say the 7th God Dragon Stone. This says 7 times, 7x God Dragon Stones. Now, if you're not familiar with what those are, that's the little red Dragon Stone that allows you to go to select most recently for global, the STR Gogeta, right? So one of the units that have EZA, stuff like that. So as of right now, it sounds like we're going to get 7 of them, but it's very possible that was an error, and we're just getting the 7th one, which of course, hopefully, since they did it for global, they do it now for JP, and they add the STR Gogeta as one of the options for the red Dragonstone. But pretty big difference there, whether we're getting just one, and they're counting it as the 7th God Dragonstone that we're getting, or we're getting an entire 7 of them. So we'll have to wait, we'll have to see what they do with that. But either way, we are getting another God Dragonstone, and hopefully they are adding the STR Gogeta to the JP side like they did on the global side. And then, of course, for your anniversary coins, which there's a ton of stuff you can get with these anniversary coins. You can hopefully, usually, I think even last year, they allowed us to get more Gokus via that, if I remember right. But either way, there's a lot of stuff that you can pick up with these, with this sort of yearly anniversary coins. Anyway, it's all set to start on January 30th, which of course will be in Japan. So if you're outside of Japan, which I'm here in the US, it'll most likely start around the 29th. Then looking at the second page of it, which is where we're getting some other, like I'm telling you, it's just the beginning. It is just the beginning. These yearly celebrations are intense. The Intelligence, the first ever, by the way, free-to-play Rainbow unit, he came out before the Bulma and everything, is the Intelligence SSJ Goku Jr. will be receiving an Extreme Z Awaken during the anniversary. I can only imagine what this unit is going to be able to do. He was already a fairly decent unit, still heavily overlooked, right? But if he's getting the Extreme Z Awaken, like, dude, he's about to be awesome. The other side of it, too, is there is a special stage being added to the Pan GT event, and you're going to be able to awaken her into a friggin' LR. So there's going to be new medals will be obtainable to Dokkan Awaken her into an LR. She will have the same super attack as before, Maiden Burst. There'll also be a new Guru event where you can recruit Guru, and he will have his own potential orb. So another sort of free-to-play style unit, just like the Goku Jr., the Bulma, the Kid Gohan, the Piccolo, etc. Although this one may be the least hyped to date because it's Guru, but anyway, it is what it is. Either way, that Pan is already a pretty good unit. Can you imagine what she's going to be able to do as an LR? Not to mention that art looks awesome. However, it looks very familiar to the new B-Pan we just got in Legends, but I mean, it is what it is. Anyway, so that right there is everything from the V-Jump right now. That's everything that we know. And a lot of people obviously are leaning towards the actual summonable units also being GT related because everything else is GT related. Now, I do just want to throw this out there. I'm not saying that it still won't be an LR SSJ4 Goku, LR SSJ4 Vegeta, LR SSJ4 Gogeta, stuff like that. But last year's, the hype up and everything like that was pointing towards this sort of Namek Saga event. We started thinking, oh my god, are we getting like an LR Goku and an LR Frieza? Like, what is happening with this? And then it ended up being LR Goku and Vegeta that transformed into Gogeta and into Vegeto. So just remember, last year we got all this sort of Namekian themed things. We got the Ginyu Force free to play. We got the Gohan, the Kid Gohan that was a Namek Saga lead. We got the introduction of Purunga and all of that. And then it ended up being the actual summonable units were LR Vegeto and LR Gogeta. So just because everything is seeming so GT oriented right now does not 1000% guarantee that some of the units are going to be GT related as well. Now, while I do personally think that it is looking very good for that, it is still worth noting that that does not just sure shot guarantee it. So now that we've looked at that, let's take a look at 2 more things really quick before we wrap up today's video. By the way, if you happen to be new to the channel, you're enjoying today's video so far, I know it's a lot of stuff we're going over right now, but if you happen to be new, we're trying to hit 500,000 before the end of 2019, so consider going down there, hitting that subscribe button, and joining the #NanoFam today. So last but not least, there's a new Shenron from GT. This is courtesy of Dokkan Info, going to be implemented into the game. So not only now is there OG Shenron, then there's Purunga, there's now this guy right now from GT. And so who knows what exactly is going to be granted from him, but either way, that's yet another thing that is sort of being symbolic and related to the GT sort of theme here, but still, that does not guarantee that everything else is going to be GT, but anyway. So yeah, no idea exactly right now as far as filming this as to what all we're going to be able to wish for whenever we are able to summon him, but one could sort of imagine it will probably be some pretty awesome stuff, given the fact that, Shenron was great and all. They revamped Shenron and made him give us even more stuff. Then Purunga became a thing. We could select up to 3 wishes. and now we have him. So I'm excited to see what exactly they do with that. So then moving past that, onto the last thing we're talking about, we finally have this active skills. Again, this is why I'm saving this stuff for the end, because I know if you watch a lot of sort of Dokkan on YouTube, where you know, take a look at it in the rest of the community, there's the potential that you've already seen some of this, but I still want to talk about it myself because I haven't got to yet. But basically, we have a little more idea of what these active skills are going to be, which sound like a huge game changer, and potentially even more so than I think we're even looking at right now, because what you're seeing is the new sort of list of skills. This is from Thieving 6 over on the Dokkan subreddit, and what you're looking at is the list of skills that are going to be potentially implemented into the game as part of the year 4 anniversary. Now, it does look like what they're doing with them is it is going to be, you're gonna have to activate them in a certain way. There's definitely gonna be things that you have to do, similar to how the transformations work in the game right now, right? You have to get LR Vegito, before he'll become LR Vegito, has to be past 6 turns above 50% HP. Something similar, something very, very, very similar to that. Right now, there is also a list of how you actually sort of implement them as well, which is what we're looking at right now. So is over energy, is under energy, elapsed turns, so many turns, enemy race type, over fighting power, under fighting power, over HP rate, you know, so forth. So there is definitely going to be something you'll have to do to be able to implement these. But well, as you can see there, true potential increase your power level by 50%. Key release, increase your key to 100%. Key focus, get all the key on the board. Now that one sounds incredibly overpowered, especially if you are running a sort of nuker style unit, LR Gohan, Tech Perfect Cell, stuff like that. Double strike, attack twice in a row. That sounds awesome, dude. Like, are you kidding me right now? So I can set up my LR Goku and Frieza to guarantee them to attack twice, please. Break attack, break your opponent's guard. Now some of these are more related to taking on the enemy. That's why I was saying this may take the gameplay up to even another level, because it's very possible they start making bosses a little bit more difficult, something of that nature. Who knows? Because as it sits right now, outside of SVR, like what exactly do you really gain from breaking your opponent's guard, right? If you're sitting with even a somewhat decent account, most of these events aren't that difficult to begin with. So then you start adding all this onto it, it makes it not even, I mean, for example, literally double strike attack twice in a row. Like that's going to be dumb. Like if you do have an LR Goku and Frieza, you're able to literally attack twice in a row with them. It's very possible that they literally one-shot the boss anyway. So why do you even care about breaking your opponent's guard as it stands right now? Again, if they don't change how bosses end up working in Dokkan with all these updates. But charge up, double your next attack. Like, dude, are you kidding me? Spirit Cannon, cancel your opponent's attack turn. Like, okay, like GG then, as it sits right now. Are you kidding me? If they can't even attack or do anything, which in some cases is how a lot of units now are getting buffed. Like you want like, you know, Beerus to get attacked first before he actually attacks. You want you know, Cooler to get attacks first before he attacks, etc, etc. Anyway, telekinesis, reduce your opponent's defense to 0. Counter add damage received to your next attack, which that of course would help with, you know, everyone else that does that sort of mechanic. Yajirobe strike, nullify all effects. Are you serious? So a Dokkan boss event towards the end, what I have to assume that means is basically at the end of most Dokkan fights, they have a built-up sort of you know, defense. They have it to where you can't decrease their attack, you can't decrease their defense, you can't stun them, you can't all of that. And if Yajirobe strike is to be sort of taken the way it's worded, you get rid of all of that, right? And so you're able to do whatever you want to with them. So, you know, or it could mean the other way, whereas they have decreased your defense, they've decreased your attack or whatever it might be, and you're able to get rid of that effect. And so you're able to still defend really well, and you're able to still put out a decent amount of attack. It could work both ways. Protect, reduce damage received to 10%. That just sounds absolutely ridiculous. I mean, to 10%? Are you, what? Because that's probably not, that's not even taking into effect like how high your defense is already. So if you reduce the damage output of your opponent down to 10% and you already have a high defense, like they're not going to do anything. Absorption, absorb keys, super attacks, and recover HP. That's basically Android 19 right now in the battlefield. Pressure, lower power level by 50%, which again, another thing of like basically just make them weaker. Regeneration, recover HP, and surprise attack, extend attack turn by 1, which in my brain sounds like you attack with 4 units instead of just 3, but maybe I'm wrong on thinking like that. Either way, guys, huge deal with all of this. Like, this is, like, at first it kind of sounded maybe like it was going to be, you know, kind of Dokkan Attack-esque, potentially, but this is a lot. Like, that's a lot of new things, right, that are potentially going to be introduced into the game as part of Year 4 and really change it up. And just to go off of what Thieving 6 said up here, each animation here can be used by itself, which of course is the animation that you'll basically see whenever you're, you know, doing to make these active abilities happen. Here's a list of restrictions that can be imposed on an active ability, which is what we were looking at earlier. And then the current list, here are the current listed skills, which is what we were just looking at a moment ago. And the skill list isn't new and could change. The animations restrictions are accurate. If the restrictions are met, you click a button on the game footer and queue up the active skill. Right now, skills either happen first or last in attack order. Like, dude, the game is getting wild, man. It's getting absolutely wild. Now, what I do hope that what this could also mean is something later on, or maybe with the implementation of these new units. Like, let's say, for example, it ends up being an SSJ4 Goku and an SSJ4 Vegeta that can fuse into Gogeta. Instead of it being like, oh, hey, once you get past turn 5, they fuse, or something of that nature. Like, my gosh. If they do make that a unit, SSJ4 Gogeta ends up being a unit, or sorry, an SSJ4 Goku and Vegeta that transform an SSJ4 Gogeta, please, please do not make it to where you have to be past turn 6 below 50% HP. That's dumb. But what I think would be very cool is with these new introduction of these units is, like, after you meet a certain criteria, preferably not that intense, you control their fusion, right? Because if when they fuse, they heal you completely, they do all this other stuff, it'd be great, right, if you could control when you want that to happen. Especially if with this introduction, these new active abilities and active skills, they make events harder, then there may be an opportunity where you want to save that ability to replenish all your HP and everything until a later time. And so you want to activate their fusion later on. And then at that point, not only is there this new sort of way to play, but also we have in-game fusions. That sounds amazing. So anyways, guys, there you go. That was today's video. That was all the news we have currently for Year 4. Yes, we're getting a new free-to-play LR. Yes, Goku Jr. is getting Easy A. Yes, we're getting a free-to-play SSJ4 Goku on top of a ton of free stones. And gameplay is getting a bit of a lift here. It's all so crazy. It's all so crazy. Anyways, guys, you want to be here for all this stuff because you guys know we'll be summoning, we'll be taking on events, we'll be doing all kinds of stuff, covering the news, everything right here on this channel. Consider going down there, hitting that subscribe button, and joining the #NanoFam today. Subscribe, like button as well. Guys, have a great day. Keep on keeping on Nanogenix off, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.